Hello, everyone. Mark Isaac Potter. My guest did not seem to show up this morning, so I thought I'd tape one of my own shows where I'm talking. I've meant for a month or so to start to tell the story about my second wife, Carol, especially how I went about asking her to marry me. It's quite a long story, so I'll probably do it in two or three parts or more. Uh, I used to get very delighted to tell this story, but somehow lately I haven't been as delighted to tell it. But it's funny sometimes. I think some people find it funny. So we had been living together for about a year, and she was a born again Christian, as many of you know. Well, or not. Many of you never knew her, obviously. Anyway, so we weren't supposed to be living together because, that's forbidden in the conservative Christian community. So whenever she had a Bible study at the house, I would have to drive away 20 minutes or so before everybody got there and then drive back, making it look like I came from my place. Anyway, so we were living together about a year, and we lived in Sunnyvale at that time. And I said to her, "Well, I want to take you out to a nice dinner in San Francisco." Uh, Place I picked out was called the Franciscan. I think I got it as a recommendation from a friend or something. So years later, she told me that once she heard that I was going to take her to this nice restaurant, she told her daughters, "Well, I think he's going to ask me to marry him." So I didn't know that was going on behind the scenes, but anyway, I was in fact planning on asking her to marry me. So we went to the Franciscan. We had a very nice dinner, very elegant place in our perception. And to make a long story short, I got cold feet. I did not ask her. And the ride home was very awkward, as you might guess. I don't, I can't tell you to this day why I didn't ask her. Uh, so anyway, we went back home, and a few days later, one of Carol's three daughters, now bear in mind Carol was older than I was by about 16 years, so she had three daughters, the oldest of whom was almost my age. So a few days after that Franciscan fiasco, one of her daughters called. I won't say the daughter's name. And the daughter's husband was in the Army Rangers in Panama, the country of Panama. And the daughter called and said, "Mom, I broke my foot." And as Carol probably already knew, the lady was several months along in being pregnant, quite a ways along. So Carol got on a plane and flew to Panama to help her daughter. Well, once that happened, I felt more visceral about the mistake I had made. I felt like I was losing her, and I felt like God knows when she'll be back. And I panicked and I called the youngest daughter, who was the one I had the better relationship with. And she said, "Well, she's gone for a while, so just talk with her when she gets back or something." So Carol was gone a few weeks, and I was beside myself, so of course. So Carol came back and she told the story later about the terrible airplane that brought her from Panama to Miami, Florida for the first leg of the trip. Of course, we live in California. And she got back at like 1 in the morning. And I don't remember going to pick her up. I think she got a taxi home or something. But when she got home, before she even got in the house, she's walking up the steps. And I said, uh, let's go to Denny's. And she said, well, I'm very tired. Why don't we do it tomorrow? And I said, no, let's do it right now. So we went to Denny's, believe it or not, as tired as she was. And I said, will you marry me? And she said, of course I'll marry you. So that may give you a picture of how gracious she was. She was quite an angel. We were married a long time, 13 years. So that is the whole story, even though I thought it would take a longer time. Talk to you guys later. Maybe I'll shoot another small segment. That was only about 5 or 6 minutes. So take care. I love you guys very much. I wish my guest had shown up, but I've probably got to do a better job of uh, reminding them. Usually I send out a weekly reminder, but maybe that's not enough, or maybe I didn't even do it that this week. I don't remember. All right, kids. Talk to you soon.